we heard about this project was, I believe we were contacted by a group that's based in France called the Humanitarian International Design Organization, and they were looking at a number of different challenges, and one of the challenges that they were focused on was this idea of looking at sanitation within the developing world. And there was a lot of talk in the brief around this idea of the flying toilet. And I don't know if you've heard about this.
I have not.
Yeah, which is, I have neither, but in refugee camps, what ends up happening is they actually, people will defecate into a small bag or into, a piece of plastic and then wrap it up and then they'll fling it around and throw it out their door. And so there's basically people throwing flying bags of booze, so that's a flying toilet idea, and they end up, really with a lot of waste, and there were images of, a lot of this waste just all accumulating around streams and water, and as a result, there's a lot of waterborne disease, such as diarrhea, that ends up causing a lot of deaths in these areas. So specifically looking at that area of refugee camps and sanitation, they wanted to come up with a solution. So some of the concerns that came up were issues such as there was a real risk for safety for women and children using using outhouses that are in a centralized area at night, because there's minimal other people around, and there was a risk of danger to them using it. So as a result, people didn't end up using them during the night and during the morning and hours when it wasn't busy. So they just weren't being used. So the idea of having something that was centralized really wasn't going to be a good solution. So when we began to look at it more closely, it seemed like having something that could collect waste over a longer period of time would be an appropriate solution. And also providing people with a toilet and designing it in such a way that it actually was something desirable and it functioned well. So that was a consideration, the overall design, the aesthetic, to actually make it, to make it look nice and function nicely and not just be completely bare bones. And it's really interesting in a lot of areas in the developing world, when we met with the World Toilet Organization, which I didn't know there was a World Toilet Organization, but there is one. They're based in Singapore, and they came to visit us, that they talk about the idea that people have cell phones, but they won't have a toilet. And how something that's, so essential to human life, like a toilet, and could cause, the stop of so much disease, isn't available, but people are using cell phones. And partly because they had said that it's seen as a status symbol to have a cell phone. So we thought of, and this is part of where the name came from, the dignity toilet. Could you actually make a toilet that would be something that people want to have and it looks good?